All I need is a little bit more time and relaxation. You see, it's been a slow recovery for me. Not that I'm recovering or ever going to be the same again after I nearly starved to death and had been suffering all of the, emotional instability that comes from having not eaten. I was preyed upon by predators who couldn't make a move on me unless I was in that state. In fact, kind of warding them off for at least a couple years, noticing that, well, these are people that are kind of encroaching. They want to be friends, they want to get closer and closer, and I'm just a highly intuitive person. A lot of people don't like me, and that's just a fact that not everybody is going to like you. But you know what? I can get everybody in the room to like me more than those who just make that automatic choice based on no experience of me at all. And I didn't just say I'm a fucking psycho narcissist that takes a hold of people in the room because I desire all the attention. No. I've been playing music all my life since the age 3, period. By the time I was 11, um, I put together my own show via my own idea, my own capability, and it was an actual song. Maybe the timing should have been worked on that particular show that I was playing in front of 300 people, in which there was a standing ovation, people even stomping on the floor when it was done. And ho hum, I just introduced them to who I was, and I made, that school look great. I mean, they actually cherished who I was that year. I remember it was my 6th grade year that everybody who knew who I was, but will they ever come up to me? No, I was very just not a big deal, and I was kind of, I was an little Aries rising tomboy, being myself, very just original and different. Why am I telling you guys this shit? What did I fucking want to tell you? I've recently been hit by cruelty and violence, and it's covert. It has to do with my romantic life, my love life, my risk taking with my love life, and trusting people. It's this issue with the Neptune opposition Venus. It doesn't have to be miserable, and that's all that I'm telling these people. I'm trying to tell them, you know what, there's a different way to live. From beginning, middle to end, you can have a higher octave, which involves better communication that says, well, what can we make work out of this? First of all, we've ended up in this position. Now what? This person chooses a highly destructive mode of operation across the board. And of course, this is supposed to be something that I'm involved with. It's all my fault or something. It's like, no, actually, if you look at what I'm really trying to do now the whole time, since it kind of got hot and heavy, um, been trying to make it human, as I should, as a woman. I found out this is what I've been doing all my life. Just trying to make this association more humane. Talking about, hey, who gives a fuck what you do this way and that way, play baseball, and I knit clothes and blah, blah, blah. But when you ask to be, that intimate union, it's usually the man who's going to be wondering. Of course, the woman thinks she wants something too. So you know, I notice it's like, well, how do we do this? I need to communicate to this guy and get him interested in who I am as just a woman's body. Because I'm noticing, well, we don't have the same shit here. So how do I share myself with this person? And I was doing this, boy, babes. I mean, it's kind of a personal message, but exploring my body since the age 5. Had experiences with the same age boys in that neighborhood, and you probably know who you are now. You remember me, and I influenced you to the point where you are saying, yeah, thank you. That was a great experience, and I wanted that all my life, and this is who I have now based on you, hun. Yay, I inspired a kid. As a kid, even. Wow. I'm doing it still today. I've done it before. Um, Playing music, I might have done it over Facebook. In fact, I know I have. My Facebook gets smeared by me and myself just getting in a really shitty mood, especially recently, and just not being able to regulate my expression emotionally, and I don't care. I'm a live performing artist, and all I'm doing is being human right in front of all these fucking narcissists' face, and they're gonna pretty soon envy that, well, wow, she pulled out of it, and now she makes sense again, and she's actually more hardy than ever, and more useful to the kids. Boy, I hate her. Is there any way we can fact check this bitch? I'm pretty sure that, you know, and it's kind of a good thing. Thank God for the people that gang up on you and report you, right? Say, she's starting to get mean. She's starting to get frustrated. She's starting to speak how frustrated she is about everything in her life. Just let's block her, and I think when I get on Facebook this next time, which it's only going to be for advertising. I have some merchandise that is worth a lot of money, antiques that people, if they were in their right mind, they could collect. I mean, if they're that kind of person, really, yeah. If they were smart, some of it can be resold for three times the money. Thanks for listening to my fucking speeches. I have no sleep and I haven't eaten either. I'm in this terrible state of it's a form of self-damaging, no self-worth, not loving myself, because why? I was abused by the unloving narcissist who justifies abuse and cruelty and everything, and you're supposed to just handle it and say, oh yeah, no, you're right, because you gave me some money. I get to push my sexuality and everything under the carpet, right? Is that what your women are really doing? Because I'm just experiencing this, and these people aren't happy. You are conducting these marriages and where, yeah, you men are being jacked, but the women can be too. Why are women working so hard and these men are just sitting at home treating them like shit, talking and flabbing at them right in front of people? And you can't convince me that the sex is worth that shit, man. No way. I am my mother's own daughter who says if there isn't love being brought to the table, get them out of here. Take them out. They don't belong in the kitchen, in your kitchen at all. She showed me at an early age how to get rid of a very toxic human being, which happened to be my dad. He just was somebody who wasn't capable of genuinely being interested in people. Not really. All of you people listening to this are surprised that you're saying that. It's like, no, he had an interest in a lot of subject matter that had to do with people that would help people. He's a cerebral narcissist. He doesn't even like himself. He doesn't like his own body. He's just trying to survive in the world with his power and control using, fuck yeah, psychology. He has 8 years under his belt. Almost made it because he's pretty smart. He looked at the statistic books in the USA, how that it was false diagnoses starting to grow in front of his face. By the time he gets to the late 70s, he just says, fuck you. And he's now studying Zen Buddhism. He's not doing useless things, but he's a cerebral narcissist who grabs onto the subject matter, and he just does it just to have power, just to secure himself in looking like a powerful and even somebody who has control, when really, just under the surface, this is a little toddler that is dreading taking responsibility as, say, maybe a father now. And what he ended up with was in his toxic situation where my mom just kind of pushed him away, said, no, thank you. I have a loving situation that I need to manage here, and it's called my desire to have these kids, and she never would talk bad about him. He would just show us how bad he was. Eventually, it's like, I don't want to go there, right? I mean, I look at this guy, I know who he was, and then I go and visit him at this other woman's house who is like, you're going to let him treat your kids like that and you that way? Observe, just keep observing. Uh-oh, look at him raging now. This poor person that he's asking instructions to about how to get someplace. You motherfucker, where the fuck am I? What an idiot, man. I was always embarrassed for this guy. And then my brother manages, we would all start laughing at the way that he would. I laugh at myself on these videos because the way that I start getting my temper right up, and it's just like, it's fucking hilarious because, well, babes, it's the truth, right? You know, I'm saying some stuff, and I'm really not trying not to direct it at any one person, but boy, you know, if you want to get the work that God wants you to do, um, as an empath, just keep radiating the truth. Start educating yourself and start, you don't have to say any names, and don't get on the pity party louche like, oh, I am so abused, you know, I didn't deserve any of this. This is me, I'm innocent. No. Just notice how you made the mistake of where they got in and start identifying them. It's them. It's they live against the people who can fucking see it. And that's your only weaponry against them. Besides for cutting back the significance that you give them in your life personally, make sure that you just say, nah, they're not important in my life anymore. I have found something else that is managing these things into me on a more healthy level of interaction. They will hate that, but just hearing what I'm going to start exposing with other people's material, what I just went through, which is the worst. In fact, they call it violence. It is tippy-toppy, classic narcissistic abuse. It is abuse. It is flat cruelty. Because it has, it's, you know, I call it, it's technically sexual abuse because it has to do with the content of sex and how that right there where they start withholding and stuff like this, it's cruelty, it's violence, and now it's sexual abuse. It's not necessarily that you're being raped. I mean, in fact, these people that you know, the thing, it's a strange thing to say, but my mother told me, said, you know what, if a man is ever trying to do that to you, just let him have it. Let him have it, and in fact say, wait a minute, I'm going to enjoy this. If you can actually get into it, it will fucking turn them off. My mom, she was a Scorpio, and she just like, what's the problem? You know what I mean? I mean, they can only hurt themselves too, kind of like, right? I mean, you know, but really, actually say, wait, let me really, oh God, you're gonna give it to me, baby, yay! And they'll fucking just go limp on you right there and probably go, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Because they want your feeling out of control, and oh, please, either that or just kick them in the fucking balls. Kick them really fucking hard in the balls. Get it over with. Anyway, thanks for listening, babes. It's sad that we end up talking about this low-life vibrational frequency shit because, well, they've pulled you into their misery, and you're like, wait a minute, this is not even me. This is not even me. I'm taking on all of your junk. And the worst thing, this is what these do-goody fucking narcissists that weasel your way into your life as a hero, and they start giving you all of these things, eventually wanting to take it all away, and, well, let's make up a big bill, and they, pretty soon you're like, well, are you going to give me anything? No, actually, they're going to give you a hard time for even being there.